What's up, Raiders? Bionic here. Welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we have to talk about this Bergoth the Malformed, and I do have a fusion calendar for you guys. You know how I like to make those, so I laid it all out, but I also want to caution you guys, okay? This is coming at a time where we're about to have a whole lot of other things to do, such as the Doom Tower and also the new Christmas fusion, which is confirmed to be this one right here, Pixneal. Right, I really thought it was going to be your Carl the Scourge. I thought it was super obvious. Void, legendary for Christmas, that's usually what we get. Instead, we're getting another support champion. Although she has an interesting kit, I mean, she's just there to somewhat counter the freeze, which is, you know, the only big concern right now is Torment. Maybe it'll be good for the Doom Tower. Again, we have yet to see that. But you gotta be ready for this. And that is why I want to caution you guys, because I was going through this calendar and it looked like a few things sort of like forced your hand, right? You had to go for certain things because of the way the milestone points work. You might not be able to just say, well, I'm only going to go a little bit in here, or a little bit in the summon rush, or a little bit in the champion training event. Because of those summon, like I said, the milestone, sorry, you got to go for basically all in somewhere, in a sense, right? We'll get to that in a second. Anyway, let's go over the kit here real quick. We have seen it before, but now we have the actual sort of like skills or books that we can put in this guy. A1 is just more damage, so 50% chance of continuous heal. If this attack is critical, it's only 50% chance, so like, I don't know, can you really count on this as a heal? Meh. Then we have only 60% chance on a 4-turn cooldown of doing an AoE provoke. It's a hit. That means, you know, it can be resisted, so again, not exactly a good dedicated crowd control champion. And then we have the passive, which is unique. You would heal based on the damage that you take, but if you don't provoke everybody, is this really going to work? Apparently he might have decent multipliers as well. All right, but you know, the rest of the kit means that he's not a dedicated nuker, he's not a good dedicated crowd control champion, and he's not a good dedicated healer. So what is he good for? A shield set because of his total stats, 22k HP. He's relatively slow, he has a decent amount of defense, decent resist, but like overall, yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm gonna get him anyway, because as you're gonna keep doing this work, this stuff that we have to do for this event, you should be able to get him, all right? Like, it does require a little bit of planning, but as you'll see with the calendar, it shouldn't be the end of the world, but again, just cautioning you guys to be ready for the next one. Okay, so here's the calendar. Let me put this a little bit bigger for you guys. So as you can see, it's, I'm gonna say like half of a Fragment Fusion, because number one, the time. We only have about, what, a week, 7 days to pull this off, compared to typically where we would have 2 weeks to pull this off. There are a lot more events and tournaments in the usual legendary Fragment Fusions, but in this one, because it's an epic, I guess it's almost a gimme, right? But it's certainly not a Horden gimme, which we had before. This was very easy. I even did a video saying this is what we're gonna get. We're gonna get a super easy Fragment Fusion for this epic for the holidays. But no, we gotta work for our gifts this year. So yeah, thank you, Plarium. But okay, so here it is. We have the Summon Rush, which is going to start a little bit later. And here's the problem with the Summon Rush, is that I'm thinking, depending on where the milestone points are, it might be lower, okay? I'm sort of going off of previous events to sort of like come up with my values. It's already been easier for, let's say, the Dragon Tournament, okay? So it might be easier, but still, if it's a 10 chance event or a 2 chance event, regardless, I'm thinking you're going to have to get probably at least 15 points from here, for sure. If you can do this all with mystery shards, great. If you can, and it's like 3,500 points for like the rest of it, that's gonna be a whole lot. This would be 30 total fragments right here. So then I tried to come up with like going all in the Summon Rush, which you get 30 fragments, or the somewhat free-to-play approach, which is kind of similar to the B approach anyway. There's not 3 ways you can do this. It's either you push for the Summon Rush, you get more fragments, so that then you have, let's say, less to do on the champion training tournament, where you could, for instance, completely skip it. I think maybe you guys can double check my math here. If not, then the Artifact Enhancement event, obviously I'm pretty sure you're gonna have to do it in all cases. Dungeon Divers event, you might maybe be able to do less if you're going more into the summon rush, but if you want my so-called free-to-play approach, we're always going for the easiest fragments first. So we would go for the first 2 milestones in the summon rush. We would do everything in the artifact enhancement event. We would go for the first 2 milestones for the dungeon divers event, and then that's it for the events. Then we go on to the tournaments. There's only 4, okay? Classic arena takedown, you can get 10. This is usually really easy, so I'm going to say in all cases you get all fragments. Then there's the dragon tournament, which is easy. Okay, so that should be easy to get all the fragments in there as well. The spider tournament, I'm going to hope that it's the same thing, so I'm going to say easy. Also, the dungeon divers event is overlapping perfectly with the dragon and the spider tournament. Okay, so you should be good to work on this, but it is also overlapping with the champion training tournament. So hopefully you're able to finish, let's say, your spider tournament as quickly as possible, right? And so that then you can jump on the champion training tournament for the last 2 days, because it's also overlapping, like I said, with that dungeon divers event. Okay, so do manage your time accordingly if you want to make this as easy as possible. And then there is the champion training tournament, which, depending on if you, let's say, went all in with the summon rush, maybe you have a lot of extra food, maybe you already have food saved up. So like I'm saying, the somewhat free-to-play approach would be that you kind of have to go in, because let's say we compare to this one right here, and you want to skip the second milestone because it's probably going to be a 10 fragments, it would not amount to 100. Right, so if it's, let's say, split up into 5, 5, 5, which we'll know eventually, then, you know, the B approach would also become a little bit more doable, where instead you would have focused a little bit harder on the dungeon divers event. You get 20 from there, which means then you can skip, let's say, part of the champion training event by getting, let's say, 10 from here, if that's even doable. Okay, again, if it's doable. So that's a concern that I have for you guys, is that, you know, if you don't push really far here in the summon rush, then expect that you have to go relatively far in the champion training tournament. And again, this might be a lot easier, which so far looks like that's the case. Okay, so guys, be careful, but use this as a point of reference. And also let me know in the comments below, are you guys gonna go for this Bergoth the Malformed? Is he worth it in your opinion? Is he gonna help you guys for the faction wars for Night Rev? I'm done with it. We don't have a whole lot of healers in here. Like we have, what, Doom Priest and Senacia, right? Which are 2 that I used. In fact, I had to build 2 Senacia to pull it off. So maybe this guy's going to be that little extra. If not, then I think there's Arcanist here, which has, you know, some kind of heal, right? And this might already be better, because you have a guaranteed continuous heal for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. So is Bergoth worth it? Anyway, let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys later.